Hi everyone, welcome back to Geterbrewed. Today we're at Ballykilcavan. It's a farm-based brewery, so come on in and check out the brewery. They're prepping for a brew day here, so there's pumps are on in the background, water's flowing. You can see we've a glycol tank on the far right there. That's obviously going to be cooling the jackets of the fermenters in the main brew house. And then a cold water tank and a hot water tank for production. Nice control panel there showing all the temperatures on the fermenters. Nice brewery floor, and you can see they're pulling out a little bit of the heritage in the walls here, so the original brickwork showing against the nice white clean modern additions that they've had. You can see we've got a cold store here which is keeping the beer nice and cool and protecting it, and the hops and that there are in there as well. So let's have a look at the brewery. So we can see sip system here, and then up onto the brewery platform. First vessel is mash tun. You can see there's a nice false bottom in that, and nice sparging and spraying from the top. All automated. Nice work over in here to the kettle. So you can see the mixing arm in the kettle and a lot of the heating elements in the bottom, which will allow this to have a nice vigorous boil. And then the final vessel is going to be the whirlpool. You can see the brew house is really clean, really well looked after, so credit to Joe and the team and David here. And then if I look across from the platform here, we can see they look like 1,000 litre fermenters, and my understanding is that David's taken a brand new shipment of 6 new fermenters which are arriving later on this afternoon. So good to get the tour out of the way this morning, leave the stress of installing them later on. So let's have another look around the brewery. So we can see we've got a packaging room, and guys doing some maintenance today, adding a nice fresh coat of paint to the walls. And then this is the brand new addition at Ballykilcavan. So you can see a nice little visitor centre, and if you come in, I believe this is the old mill. So they've beautifully restored this building here. The woodwork is very intricate, and you know, it's just very, very pleasing. And this is obviously the old cogs from the mill, and just a nice area to come and visit. So we're going to pop the website details down below to be able to book yourself a brewery tour and come and check out Ballykilcavan. A lot of heritage, a lot of culture here, and we're going to chat to David and hear a little bit more about the brewery now. We're joined by David from Ballykilcavan, and well, I suppose, David, tell the viewers a little bit about your lovely brewery here and on the farm.
Yeah, thanks so much. Well, thanks for coming down, Jonathan. It's the brewery's been here. It's only been here since December 2018. So I did a computer science degree. I came back and took over the family farm in 2004, knowing, to be honest, not an awful lot about farming. The main crop we always had here was malting barley. We've been growing malting barley here for at least 3 or 4 generations. So yeah, it was a case of, after maybe about 10 or 12 years, realising that growing malting barley isn't going to keep the farm going very well. Yeah. So we needed to do something different, and I'd always had an interest in home brewing because we grew the barley here, so it was a case of trying to find maybe something to do with the malting barley that we grew on the farm, and that's where the brewery came out of. It was, we had the old buildings, like we're in the old mill house here, which we're turning into the visitor centre and tap room, but we have all the old buildings next door that the brewery fitted into quite nicely.
I'm sure the guys watching will be very interested in the malting barley aspect of it. So this was a multi-generation farm, 13 generations?
13, yeah, I'm 13.
Yeah, and would have been mixed between cattle and, you know, arable or dairy even. I'm not 100% sure, but now it's 100% tillage and 100% arable. The malting aspect of it, so you're growing barley for your own brewery, but also for distilleries and brewers locally. And tell us a little bit about what that's like.
Yeah, so at the minute we're growing 100% malted barley on the farm, and it's really a 50-50 split. So we grow brewing barley for ourselves, and then we're growing distilling barley for Waterford Distillery as well. So it goes down to Minch, who are just down the road from here. Like, we're very lucky, I suppose, in the location, because they're about 8 miles down the road. Yeah. So I grow the barley as a farmer, I sell the barley to Minch, and then the brewing company buys back whatever we're going to need for the year. Yeah. So it's a great system for us because, as I say, they're so close. Yeah. They're close because where we are is really malting barley country. You know, the ground really suits it, the climate suits it, and the ground doesn't suit anything else that we could grow, so we can't really grow other crops here very successfully, but it is really good for barley.
And it's spring malting barley?
It's spring malting barley, yeah. So like it's early February here at the minute. The fields are actually got a green cover on them at the minute, so we put in a crop as soon as harvest is finished. We put in a crop just to keep the soils healthy and keep all the nutrients in the soil. We have sheep grazing them at the minute, so if we can get the kind of weather that we had the last couple of weeks, which was great sowing weather, but it's just too early for us, we'll get the barley into the ground at that stage, and then right the way through to about early August.
Irish craft beer scene's still very juvenile, and the reason we do these videos is to highlight our customers to the general public. It's we're very passionate about campaigning Irish craft beer and lifting the scene. How have you found it since you've started in terms of getting beer into the independent bottle shops, getting into the multiples? Is there a growing demand in your opinion?
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's a tough market because you're dealing with you're dealing with the big breweries that are not particularly interested in losing any market share, even if it's only a small amount to the likes of us. But there's definitely, and I think actually the pandemic, obviously pretty horrific for everybody involved, but one of the things that has come out of that is that people are interested in local produce. They're interested in supporting small independent businesses like us. So we saw a huge surge in demand at the start of the pandemic. We've kept pretty much a lot of that. Export is actually starting to go well for us now at the minute as well, and I think the story of Ireland as a destination for clean green food, if you like, that's really helped us on the export side, so we're sort of piggybacking on that. But the story that we have here and the fact that we're growing our own barley, using our own water, that really helps as well. I think all of those things together actually come together pretty well.
You mentioned there using your own water. Are you analysing that water and adjusting it, or are you ROing the water and starting with a blank canvas?
We start with a blank canvas, yeah. The well is actually just out in the yard out here behind us, but it's actually very nice water. It's very clean water, very tasty water, but it is full of lime. We actually have to take it's off the scale for lime. So we take it out, we put it through a softener first to take out the lime, then we put it through an RO, and so that basically you're starting with
blank canvas. It gives the brewer, they can really fine tune the recipe.
It is. I mean, we actually think it's really important because, you spend a lot of time on your malt bill, you spend a lot of time on your hop bill. We would argue that you should spend the same amount of time on your water profile as well. So we're brewing anything from a lager up to an imperial stout. They all need different water profiles. So we can remineralize, put the correct minerals back in depending on the style of beer that we're brewing. And it just means that we can get the balance right for whatever style it is.
And the building we're in is your new visitor centre. It's exceptionally well finished, very pleasant environment to sit in, and you can see you're pushing towards attracting tourists. So how's that going to work out for you? Are you going to have you book a tour, there has to be a set amount of people. Can someone just arrive? Can they buy beer, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, so the way we're going to work it at the minute is we'll have a taproom license, as they call it, for here. So what that means is that once you come in and do a brewery tour, you can then come out here and have a few samples, and then you can buy beer as well to take away. So at the minute we're running a wholesale license, which means we can only sell you about 20 litres as a minimum. But once we have the full license in place, we'll be able to sell you, a can or a 6-pack or something like that. It's going to be pre-booked tours because I'm going to be leading the tours, so I kind of have to know when you're coming in. But it can be a private tour, like if you want to come at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, that's no problem. Just so long as you're booked in, then there's no problem with that. It probably suits a smaller group, so anything 15, 20 people, something like that. I mean, anything really from 4 up to about, say, 30, just because, as you can see, it's not a huge space in here. And I think it's a better tour anyway if you have smaller groups in, because you get more interaction with the people that are here as well. So that's the way we're going to work it.
So, David's mentioned there about the interaction with the people. This is a genuine experience, a brewing experience. You're speaking to the owner of the farm, his family, the brewers. It's not a corporate thing where, you know, there's a marketing team showing you around, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, that's an introduction to Ballykilcavan. We're very grateful for your time, David, and keep watching out. Check out their socials. We're going to pop a link to the website below so you'll be able to check out when you can book tours, and we hope you get down here and enjoy the experience as we have done. So that was the beautiful Ballykilcavan Brewery. Amazing history here, 13 generations, and it's been on the farm, within the family since 1639. So be sure to check out their beers, be sure to follow them on social media. We would ask that you consider giving us a subscribe and hit the little bell so you can see our new brewery tour videos. And until next time, thanks so much for watching and happy brewing.